Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, folks. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing great. I've got my water here, and I'm ready. And, you probably say I'm like this all the time, but I just love our guests. And this is another great show. And, of course, this is Harlem World Radio you're listening to, and it's the Danny Tisdale Show. And hello, everyone. I'm Danny Tisdale. If you have any questions, as I always want you to do, if you do have any, hit us up on Twitter, any place where you can find Harlem World Magazine, the hashtag Harlem World Magazine. And today we welcome, as we always do, leaders, legends, and trailblazers. And as you can tell, we're always busy, and there's phones ringing in the background. Today we have a great guest on Harlem World Magazine Radio as we celebrate the greatest community in the world, Harlem. Our guest today is Dr. Kecia Gaither. Gaither, and I just asked her about the right pronunciation. Here it is. I mess it up again. Dr. Gaither is a double board certified physician in OBGYN and maternal fetal medicine and holds a master's degree in public health, a prenatal consultant and women's health expert. Dr. Gaither's expertise is grounded in both research and her professional experience in caring for women with multiple medical, surgical, fetal conditions and pregnancy. Dr. Gaither serves as the Director of Prenatal Services and Director of Maternal Fetal Medicine for NYC Health and Hospitals, Lincoln in the Bronx. A native of Harlem, Dr. Gaither's mission as a medical professional is to offer exemplary prenatal care for all women, regardless of circumstance. Dr. Gaithers regularly lends her commentary and expertise on issues pertaining to women's health, pregnancy, and an environmental population health policy to leading national consumer health and lifestyle outlets from print to online to film, you name it. Dr. Gaithers has also co-authored The Confident Woman, a must-read book for women who desire increased confidence, self-esteem, and empowerment. She is a reviewer for and has been published by multiple scientific journals. She additionally serves as a reviewer for WebMD and as a requested contributor to the Huffington Post, Thrive Global, U.S. News and World Report. Dr. Gaither was a appointee of Mayor Bloomberg for New York City to HIV Planning Council of New York. Dr. Gaither is on the medical advisory board of NATERA, PWN Health, and serves as a medical expert for the Baby Box Company. Dr. Gaither has done so much work, and at the end of the show, we'll give you her website so that you can get more information about that outstanding work she has done. More importantly, Dr. Gaither is here with us. And how are you today, Doctor?
I am great. Thank you for such a lovely introduction. Thank you.
Well, you've done so much work, and I certainly wanted to give you your props for the work that you've done in and out of the community, and really am happy to have you on the show. And let's get right to it.
Okay.
Thank you. And I wanted to, I'm always curious when I speak to our guests of, who inspired you to do the work that you do as a doctor, and really to become a doctor.
Well, my mother told me that at the age of 4, I was running around telling people that I wanted to be a surgeon. So I think I was kind of born with it. And, she still has a lot of my little stuffed animals from childhood, and it's quite apparent that I was indeed a little surgeon because I have, multiple little surgery sites where I guess the stuffing came out and I sewed it up. So I think I was kind of born with that desire.
So was there some kind of show you were looking at? Does that ring a bell, or you don't know exactly what it is that you can put your finger on?
I don't know.
That's
I
amazing.
don't know, but she said, and it wasn't like I said I want to be a doctor. I told her specifically I wanted to be a surgeon. And I do remember that a lot of the shows that I watched were science and nature related. Nova, Wild Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
Those
PBS.
types
Yep.
of things. Yeah, PBS specials. So I was very much a science nerd from a little kid. So I guess it just kind of blossomed into the direction that I'm in now.
So did you ever, Dr. Gaither, feel that you couldn't do what you wanted to do? Because, when I, read and read your bio, it seems that you haven't missed a beat and you've done pretty much what you've wanted to do. And here you are today saying, well, this is what I wanted to do, and I've done what I've wanted to. You're doing what you wanted to do.
Well, I can honestly say that I was blessed to have the background support. I mean, my earliest memories are of me sitting in my grandmother's kitchen and her telling me there's no such thing as can't. So that's the kind of message that, I grew up with. And certainly my parents are, very determined people. So, education was certainly given. It was expected that I, do, excellent work. My parents and grandparents sacrificed to send me to a good school. So there was, it was expected that I would, excel. And certainly with the mindset of there's no such a thing as can't. So that's kind of how I run my life.
I love that. And so was your grandmother from the South or born in Harlem? Or
Southern all the way. We are from Hampton, Virginia.
Okay.
I come from humble beginnings, yes.
Yes. Yeah, no, I had a feeling, but I just wanted to ask. I understand the, Southern family, grandparent scenario, the same as mine, so I was just curious.
Southern girl all the way.
There you go. Okay. And born and raised in Harlem.
Harlem girl, yes, absolutely.
Well, some people on the outside looking in might say that, well, born in Harlem and it's a tough road to hoe, and she did it against the odds. That doesn't sound like a story that matches what you've realized, and especially, and I want to talk about it a little later, but in looking at some of the shorter reviews on The Confident Woman, the book that you co-authored, that's the very thing that you talk about, though, is the idea of confidence, self-esteem, and empowerment.
Absolutely. But, I think to some extent it all begins on who is around you. What is your roadmap? What do you see as you're growing up? And, I didn't see anything but a bunch of confident women, when I was growing up. So I don't know anything other than that, my family members, there's a matriarch, there was, Big Mama, and I'm sure most African-American families have a Big Mama.
Big Mama, that's right.
Exactly. And so, you learn from watching how she maneuvered and how the rest of your aunts and
right.
grandmother and mother maneuvered. So, you have a blueprint of how to conduct yourself and how to have self-esteem and so forth and so on.
That's really true, because and you pretty much know what Big Mama wants and expects when there is a Big Mama.
Exactly. All Big Mama has to do is look at you. That's it.
That's right. No, nothing needs to be said, because metaphorically something might be thrown at you if you don't.
Exactly.
Follow. But I have a question for you, Doctor, that I didn't plan on asking you, but I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Because whether you are a man or a woman, there may not be a big mama or a big daddy in your life. And what do you suggest to, those who don't have a big mama or big daddy in their life? How do they kind of, stay on the right path, let's say?
I think for the most part, humans know what's right and what's wrong. And I think that every person has an internal guide, You know,
Yeah.
some people say it's God. Some people,
Yeah.
say it's other things. But there's an internal guide to
Yeah.
direct you along the path that you should be taking. And you know what's right for you. You just know internally, I feel.
Yeah, there's some kind of internal gauge, and as an educator, when I'm talking to students, I'm always saying, you know better than that.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to do that. And whether you're, because I used to say, act in class like you do at home, and we know I had to stop saying that because, kids could get away with stuff at home that they can't do in class. So I end up saying, well, you know better than that. You know that that's not the right thing to do. And I think you're completely right with that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Were you going to say something?
No, sir. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I'm good.
Please don't call me sir. Danny. Always Danny. Okay, doctor. Okay.
Keisha's fine.
Okay, thank you. Mother's Day is Sunday, right around the corner. What health messages do you have for those hard-working moms out there who are listening to the show? I was raised by a hard-working mom and raised by my hard-working sister when mom wasn't around. I know and I feel for, moms out there. I think in a previous life I might have been a mom. But, what do you say to those moms who are listening to the show? And it might be even after Mother's Day that they, something they could do on their day, even though every day is Mother's Day. Any message for them? Health message, I guess?
I would say, just as a matter of fact, the mother takes care of the health of everybody in the household. So I guess my health message to her was to ensure that she takes care of her health as well.
Right.
Get your yearly gynecologic exam,
right.
Get those mammograms done. If you're of a certain age, get yourself screened for colon cancer. So while you're taking care of everybody else, just make sure you're taking care of you.
Is that easier said than done?
Sometimes
for mothers, because there always seem to be, them second, everybody else first.
That's true. But I mean, a person's life is so much influenced by their moms, and if you want to be around in your child's life, you've got to take care of yourself as well to ensure that indeed does happen.
And I love, as I read your bio, is that the very last line, at least in the bio I have, you say that you enjoyed spending time with your family and traveling. So to me, that means that you practice what you preach, is that you are working hard. Obviously, you're working hard, but you tear that time away, and I'm using the word tear to, have time, spend time with your family and traveling and having that quality time in your life. So it sounds like you're not working 24/7, 7 days a week, 365.
No, all work and no play makes you crazy. So you have to take some time and, smell the roses, literally. I mean, literally. Nature is healing. So there is really truth in that saying. You need to take time and smell the roses.
So do you, we have 7 days in the week. Do you have it sectioned off where, okay, I'm grinding hard for 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday, and then Sunday is my day of rest? Is that how your schedule is, or it's even broken up more?
Monday through Friday, I'm working hard, very hard. Saturday is usually my day where, I got to do the shopping and everything else. But I usually cordon off maybe 2 Saturdays in the month for me where I'm getting my facial, I'm getting my nails and my hair did, as some people are so want to say, getting my massage. You have to stop and do some things for you, or I'll plan an evening where I go out with my friends and
girlfriends or boyfriends, right,
exactly, just to do me, because like I said, all work and no play does make you crazy. You can't just focus on work 24/7, 365. And when I leave the hospital, I want to be able to leave all of that behind me, because if not, I would be a setup for having a heart attack. Trust and believe.
And we certainly don't want that. So that's your reset button, which is to kind of, forget the work stuff behind you and take that vacation, get the massage.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Got you. Start over button. Okay, that's fantastic. And guys, if you're listening, that doesn't mean that what the good doctor is talking about is just for women. It's for us, and maybe even more so for us, because we hate seemingly to go to the doctor and get a checkup and do the things that we know we need to do, as we talked about earlier. And folks, I just want you to know that you're listening to Danny Tisdale on the Danny Tisdale Show, and of course I have another great guest. And you're listening to Harlem World Radio. And back to our guest. She was just talking about, Dr. Gaither, Kecia Gaither, was talking about how she gets R&R with her work time, and we know that that's something we all need to do. And I'm going right back to the doctor here, and we're talking about health care, and because I wonder about other issues that are related to women's health care and men. Any response or feeling to health care in the United States, or you'd rather not talk about kind of the I don't really want to get political, but I'm just curious if you have any response to our need for health care just in a general way.
I think to an extent we have made some leaps and bounds in healthcare. However, those leaps and bounds has not been extended to all members of our society. I do think that President Obama initiated some really great things concerning health care, and I'm hopeful that moving forward those gains can be greatly expanded. I have made a conscious decision to work where I work, which is in the South Bronx, to ensure a sense of population health, okay? Because there are certainly deficits there. There are a lot of things that are within our community that I think can be ameliorated with good health care, good diet to start with, and because your health really begins with what you eat. You are what you eat. That is a true statement. So I think that with the constancy of the way I think, and there are many other physicians and healthcare providers that think along the same routes that I do, I think if the message gets out there about certain things, I think we as a nation hopefully can move forward to better healthcare and greater access to everybody. If we look at some of our allies and what they're doing, I think a lot can be learned from their health care and the health of their people in general. I think that in 2019, to have to talk about maternal mortality, particularly affecting women of color, really says a lot. And so there is opportunity to address it and to hopefully make that a thing of the past in a very short period of time.
The doctor said very eloquently, and I was just curious because I thinking 30, 40 years from now, and my nephews and my nephew's son and daughter, I really, everything crossed, legs, arms, eyes, that, there is health care for all somewhere down the line. But I just wanted to just ask you that question and then ask you the next question. I wanted to go back to something I asked earlier and talked about, and that was referencing your book, The Confident Woman. And and I wanted to ask, where do women find confidence, self-esteem, and empowerment today in this Me Too era? Where do they find that?
Well, I think a lot of it begins, your mindset begins with what you're taught at home, and what you are taught at home really has implications from a transgenerational perspective. I mean, because I talked about earlier, Big Mama and Nana, and what type of values and moral fiber has been taught to you, which you keep, and then you teach your children, and so on and so on and so on. So I think a lot of it begins at home. And, the truth of the matter is, being a maternal fetal medicine specialist and talking about the mother and the fetal bond, it even begins in utero. Babies can sense when things are not right, and their behavior in utero, as well as once they're born, kind of reflects what's going on in the household. If the mother is stressed and not in a good place mentally, the possibility exists very highly that she's going to have a little tiny baby, growth restricted baby, that's going to be crying and screaming all the time. So a lot of your self-esteem and basically what and who you are, it really reflects your environment in utero and beyond.
That's, I've always, early on, my father used to give me these books along with the rest of us. What was it? And of course, as I'm trying to think of it, it fails me. But it was basically a book about being positive. You think positive, you'll become positive. You put positive thoughts in, positive thoughts come out. And it wasn't, quote unquote, scientific, but I continue to believe that. And through my life, I'll knock on wood, if there was wood around me, that, I've been pretty lucky, I think. Do you think that that's – I hear you kind of saying some of that. Do you think that that's true, or is that just a myth?
Well, Jesus said, as a man thinketh, so is he. There is science behind it. Your thoughts become reality. They do.
Even at our lowest moments?
Even at your lowest moment. Even at your lowest moment, yeah. And I tend to think of your lowest moment. When you're in your lowest moment, that's just setting you up for your greatest moment.
Oh, okay. You're going to have me raise my hand and stand up and start shouting. All right, let me stop. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I truly believe that. And,
I do too.
When I first started out in my journey in medicine, there were some low points, being black and female. I certainly have come across my my amount of distractions and bumps and so forth and so on. But
I heard the way you said that.
But my distractions and bumps have really propelled me to greater things. So there's a reason for everything. As a man thinketh, so is he. Keep a positive thought in your mind, and just keep moving.
Yeah, I'm trying not to always agree with you, but I seem to always agree with what you're saying, because also it seems that whenever I'm at my lowest moment, I end up talking to somebody, and it's like, I thought my story was bad.
Exactly.
It's like, you know what? It's not that bad after all, Danny. If you think you're in a tough situation, you know what he or she just told me has nothing to do with where I am. But I completely agree with you. And believe it or not, we're at our last 5 minutes here, and I've got a couple of more questions, if not more, and I'll try to rein it into 2. But what is your favorite place in the place you were born in Harlem? Do you have a favorite place?
Sylvia's.
Oh.
Sylvia's is my favorite place in Harlem.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if you said that, then you got to tell me what that favorite meal is that you like, so that when I'm there next time, it's like, okay, Dr. Kecia said this is her favorite.
Fried chicken.
Is there a favorite meal? Oh.
Fried chicken, mac and cheese, potato salad, and collard greens.
Oh, the potato salad. Oh, you said the potato salad.
With hot sauce on the potato salad and fried chicken. And the greens.
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce. Southern.
Okay. I was going to say some gravy, but you said the hot sauce because
hot sauce.
Is that legal in America to have hot sauce on potato salad? I don't know.
The hotter the better, yeah. Hot sauce. Absolutely.
So that means that I'm just going to have to try that the next time.
You'll have to try it, absolutely.
That means a mound of potato salad with the hot sauce, and then another mound next to it with the gravy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I love that choice there. And, Doctor, I love having you on the show, and time has flown by. And our listeners are probably wondering, well, I love what I've heard. And I know that she's on every platform in America and probably across the seas. But I just like to stay in touch with her through Facebook, her website, or wherever. Do you have any places that our listeners can go, Doctor, to stay in touch with you and your work?
Sure. I have a website, www.KeciaGaither.com, and my name is spelled KeciaGaither, www.KeciaGaither.com. I'm on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @KeciaGaitherMD, and I'm on Facebook.
Fantastic. And Doctor, thank you so much for being on the show. And folks, do not forget to, of course, go to her social media platforms, and also to check out her book, The Confident Woman, and check out all the other work that she's doing. I'm sorry, Doctor.
And I'm at Lincoln in the Bronx.
Fantastic. Thank you, Doctor, for being on the show. And don't be surprised if I reach back to you to have you on the show again to talk about women's work and women's work and all the work that everyone is doing, and especially you. Thank you, Doctor, again, for being on the show. Thank you for having me. And happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you to you, too.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Well, folks, another great guest on the show, and thank you for listening to the Danny Tisdale Show. And don't forget to hit us up on our social media platforms at Harlem World Magazine, wherever you may be. Let us know if you have any questions you'd like us to ask, or if you have any guests that you think should be on the show, who is, in your mind, in your world, leader, legend, and trailblazers, because that's who we speak to. And we just spoke to, again, Dr. Kecia Gaither, who was born and raised Gaither in Harlem, New York, the best community in the world. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Also, happy Mother's Day to all you great mothers out there. Bye-bye.